Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be filming today's video because you're going to meet me in a more personal way than you ever have before. I'm very honest and open, and I think you can tell that from the videos I've posted already. But this is something that I'm just sharing the deepest parts of me with you. By the way, it is raining outside, so I hope it's not too distracting. Maybe it could even add some moodiness to the video, I don't know. But anyways, I just really want to talk about this topic because I feel like it's something we all struggle with. And this video is not to come up with excuses or anything like that. It's literally just to share my side of my story, my personal experience, and hopefully to shine light on each other, to not judge each other, because we never know where someone's coming from. So anyways, let's get started. I want to share with you my biggest struggle. I know we all struggle with tons of different things, but this is definitely something I've struggled with my entire life, and it has impacted me tremendously. My self-esteem, the way I see myself, me pursuing my singing career, how I perceive myself in relationships, all these things. So yes, I want to talk about my personal struggle with my weight. And it's not just my weight. I want to talk about everything else I've mentioned. Now, a little background information. My family is from Venezuela. I have a lot of Hispanic women in my family, of course, and also from my dad's side, there's the Italian side. So the women in my family have always been curvy. There's not really like one skinny, like true skinny girl. Mind you, I'm not skinny shaming, I'm not body shaming. That's actually the point of this video. The point is to love each other exactly as we are and support each other exactly as we are, no matter if I'm curvy and you're skinny. I can love and support you the same way that you can love and support me, and not have to be this judgment, this bitterness. But anyways, let's keep going. That being said, I feel like there is this pressure, of course, in society, globally, everywhere, but at least I see it a lot more in my Hispanic culture, that there's an extra pressure of having to be really skinny and pretty and always put together. And there's a part to that that's great, you know, wanting to look your best and everything, but there's another side to it that's very toxic in a way, I think. And so I'm just putting this out there because it's part of the story. That being said, I have never been skinny in my entire life. Even as a kid, I was never this skinny little petite girl. No, I was always the tallest in my class, literally up until middle school. So I never felt, even as a kid, like looking back, not that I never felt feminine, of course I've always been like girly and you know, but I knew that I was physically different from the rest of the class. And so, you know, when you're a little kid and you have your little crushes here and there, and oh, he's cute, I knew since then that like I wasn't as cute as the other girls and whatever, because I was taller and I was bigger. And just reflecting back on when I was a kid, again, having that Hispanic family culture, pressure, whatever you want to call it, I always felt that finger pointing at me like, oh, she's not skinny, she's not skinny. And it probably wasn't done with the intention to make me feel bad or anything. If anything, it was probably confused for them looking out for me. But I don't think that was the case, because when you're a kid and you're going to all these birthday parties, it really sucks when all the other kids are having fun and eating birthday cake and you're told you can't have cake. Everyone else can have cake except you. You feel like there's something wrong with you. You feel like the odd one out. You feel like you're being signaled. And looking back, I was always a kid that loved running around and playing gymnastics. I was always doing cartwheels left and right with one hand, splits, handstands, all these things. And I remember one of my grandmothers saying, oh my God, look at her. She's so chubby and so flexible. And as a kid, you're just like, what the heck, like I'm not doing anything. It's crazy to see how I was so young and I understood insecurity. I understood judgment. And I think parents don't think that kids understand that, but I definitely did. And that from such a young age reflected on how I carried myself around kids in my school. So I always wanted to be liked by my peers, and I always wanted to be on good terms with everybody because I didn't want to be bullied for the way that I looked. And I think it's also important to talk about the foods I was eating when I was younger. It's not my fault that I ate tons of rice and arepas and bread and pizza, and I was being fed that as a child. That's what I grew up with, and my parents didn't know better. My parents didn't know that that was working against me. And now when I grow up and I see that I have an intolerance to a lot of things, it's like, okay, well, this stems from when I was a kid. So growing up, I also had the pressure of, again, having to go to the gym at an early age. I was in 5th grade and going to the gym. I had a trainer when I was in 5th grade. When I was in 5th grade, I was probably, 9 years old, I think? A 9-year-old with a personal trainer. I mean, that's crazy. And you're taught that this food does this and this food does that, and you have to go see this specialist and you have to go see another specialist and this and that and the other, and you just become so like, oh my God, like I'm broken, like why is my life so difficult, why is this such a struggle? And eventually over time it just created like not a fear, but kind of, there are times where I was hungry and I was like, I'm just not gonna eat. I'm not going to eat because everything apparently makes me gain weight. One doctor says eat this way, another doctor says eat the other way, and it's like, well, then I don't want to eat anything. And then you're taught about fasting. So then now it becomes, okay, well, I don't want to eat this and then I want to eat that, and now I have to wait 16 hours because I can't eat. And so it just became something so bad for me where I would spend hours without eating. And when I was hungry and I would open the doors to the fridge, I was like, I don't want to eat. So becoming an adult and being aware of my situation, I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I think that's how it's called. I have insulin resistance. So that means that I shouldn't be intaking more insulin because it's say like the max insulin my body can take it's already at a max. And so anything that I put in is just gonna make me gain weight. And in my particular situation, it's very discouraging because if I don't sleep well, if I don't sleep enough hours, I can gain weight. If I push myself too hard at the gym, I can gain weight or not lose weight. If I don't eat 3 times a day, I can gain weight because my body produces more sugar. Someone that maybe also wants to lose weight but doesn't have PCOS, doesn't have insulin resistance, they can work out and in 2-3 months they reach their goal weight, but that won't work for me. And I always felt the pressure to have to do all of these different diets or having to do the fasting. And as an adult, I learned to say, you know what, fasting might work for you. And maybe at some point in my life it would work for me, but I have trouble eating 3 times a day. So I need to heal that part of me. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the point of this video is to share my experience so that you can understand that people struggle with different things in different ways. There's a very big misconception that because you're overweight, it means that you eat really bad and you overeat and you're just like gross with food and whatever. That's not the case. In my case, I barely eat, and that makes my body produce more sugar and I gain weight. But then again, I was raised with so much pressure on food that I kind of have a little fear of, you know, well, if I eat this, am I gonna gain weight? If I'm gonna eat that and this and whatever, and then I end up not eating. Or I wake up and I'm just like, oh, I don't wanna have breakfast, or this and that. It's just years of all that crap that now I have to unlearn. Like my biggest goal this year is to find something that works for me. Not do keto, not do this, not no. My goal is to come up with a schedule, come up with a routine that tailors to my lifestyle that works. Finding the right tools and the right advice from women that deal with the same struggles that I do so that I can create that realistic, attainable lifestyle for me to be healthy. And being healthy is not just the food you eat. The food you eat definitely reflects how you feel mentally and emotionally, but also finding the time to rest is really important. Like I said, I've always felt the need to be doing something. I was raised with pressure of going to the gym, and the more workouts you did and the harder it was, then the better you were, and the more I felt like I was proving that, I am going to lose this weight. And then learning as an adult already at 25 years old that for people with my conditions, with my situation, pushing yourself too hard is actually working against you. Because like I said, I cannot raise my cortisol levels, I can't get stressed because anything can make me gain weight. And realizing that workouts that are super high intensity are not to my favor, because I just release more cortisol, which then is sugar and this and blah, 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 all that stuff. So at 25 years old, learning that actually having a rest day is beneficial to me, like going to the pool, going to the jacuzzi, and journaling and just having time to unwind is healthy for me. I was like, why haven't I been doing this sooner? Why have I not been told this information? And finding a balance and not pushing myself to making me feel less than just because I'm not out here doing the same work that somebody else is doing. My weight really has affected the way that I see myself. There are days where I feel like I'm way bigger than what I am. I struggle shopping online because I buy clothes that I think are going to fit me, and then when they get here they're way bigger because I think I'm way bigger, and then it's just really annoying. It really is. It's also very common in my culture to have surgery, and I have nothing, literally nothing against surgery. If I ever reach the day where I'm like, you know what, I want to do it, then I'll do it with all the love and positivity and happiness in the world. But it's really ugly. It feels really bad when you almost feel like you need to do it because everybody else wants you to do it. I thankfully do love having a curvy body. Of course, I feel bad about myself when I'm not working out and I'm not eating well and I'm channeling my emotions through junk food and all these things. Of course, I feel bad, and I know I don't look my best, and I do gain weight. But the times where I have been healthy and I have been working out and I have been more on top of the foods that I eat, and I get rid of that inflammation, because that's what it is. I have a lot of inflammation in my body. When I take care of that, I love having a curvy body that is healthy. I have really strong legs, like really, really strong legs, and I love it. And so there are a lot of people that have surgery. First of all, there are people that have surgery and it doesn't work for them. There are people that definitely it does work for them, and they're very happy and they're living life and they wish they would have done it sooner, and I'm so happy for those people. But I love how I look when I'm curvy, and I think of, what if I were to get that surgery and I'm so thin that I feel like I don't recognize myself? I know it's so silly. The bottom line is, any type of surgery that you want to do is definitely something that you should do for yourself, because you want to, because you are saying yes to it, not because someone is pressuring you. You can take all the time in the world to contemplate on whether you want to have surgery or not. At the end of the day, you have to be happy with yourself. You have to live with yourself. You have to live with the decisions that you've made. And so I don't think I'm there, and I shouldn't feel bad about it. I've struggled with a lot of different parts of this whole weight thing. It has impacted the way that I see myself, not only towards myself, but how I see myself in relationships. I tend to feel like guys don't really look at me the same way that they would someone that, is more fit and this and that and whatever. Or maybe they do. I guess some curvy girls can relate. Sometimes you feel like guys would want to flirt with you and be more sneaky with you rather than actually be in a relationship with you, because you don't have that petite feminine body or whatever. and it does kind of get at your self-esteem. It has for me. I'm just being honest. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. You're not going to please everyone. You're not going to fit everyone's mold. You just have to love yourself and choose for yourself and decide for yourself. If it's going to the gym, go to the gym that you enjoy. If it's doing exercise, do the exercise that you enjoy. That's definitely something else I've learned as an adult, is especially when it comes to working out. The workouts that you do them because you enjoy them. The way you relate to what you're doing is going to influence the outcome of what you are doing. So if I hate running, I'm not going to go running, because if I do, then I will be miserable and I'm working against myself. But if I love dancing, then maybe the workouts for me, you know, maybe it's not running and it's dancing instead. So the way I pass my time working out, it doesn't feel like I'm working out. It feels like I'm doing something I enjoy. If you're going to stick to a diet, do a diet that you're interested in, that you feel like you can actually incorporate into your life. I think that that's something we have to understand is, as an adult, what are my needs and how can I fulfill them? Despite what everyone says, despite what everyone else is doing. Of course, we have to be educated. It's amazing to get educated. I'm not saying wherever you are in your life, stay that way. No, if you want to improve, if you want to get better, if you want to heal things, if you want to, you know, lose weight, if you want to, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think the goal should always be to be the healthiest version of yourself. But do it in a way that is nice, and that you're not beating yourself up, and that you're not judging others, and that it just feels good. I always tell people to start seeing themselves like your best friend. So see this as a journey that you are going on, and you're holding your own hand throughout the journey, and you're gonna face challenges, you're gonna face this and that, but you have to keep going. And if you can make the process nicer for yourself, by being more patient with yourself, by being more forgiving to yourself, why not?